What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's another episode of the Dad Bod Golf Pod, recording live once again at Bunkers in Auburn, simulator bar and grill, whatever you want to call it. We are ready to rock and roll, talk about this U.S. Open. You heard a little bit of a preview of Ben chatting about it with Doug earlier this week on the pod. I finally get a chance to break it down.
To weigh in,
yeah. Yes, absolutely. So, but before we get started, before we dive into that, we got to give a shout-out to Bet Online, the #1 sports betting website in the country. Sign up today, get a 50% welcome bonus. Use coupon code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V. You give them $100, they're going to give 50 back to play with. You still got all kind of sports you can bet on. I mean, you got Major League Baseball. I don't even know how much is left in the NBA Finals. That series is about to wind up, I believe. So you may have missed out on that. But you can bet golf. You can bet hockey. You can bet everything.
Oh, hockey's almost over, too.
Hockey's almost over, too. So
3-0 lead.
Hopefully you didn't run out of time.
And I don't even follow hockey.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't run out of time on that one. So definitely
you know what you can do?
What's that?
Roll those dice, baby.
Roll those dice. If you get tired, if you can't find the line you like, hit that online casino. But a lot of fun, easy deposits, easy withdrawals. Bet Online. It's where the game starts.
Kyle, you hitting on 16 or 17?
Oh, you always got to hit on 16.
Okay.
Unless what's the rule? Unless the dealer's showing the 16? Unless the dealer is showing.
Unless the dealer's showing more.
No.
I mean less. You hit, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to check the book. There's a book we got.
Yeah, you told me there's a book.
We got to check that book out. All right, so U.S. Open this past weekend. I thought it was a very entertaining Open. Obviously, the course was tough, and then Bryson comes out on top, wins his second U.S. Open, which I predicted.
No, you did. I'll give you credit.
You got to give me credit for that.
I got to give you the nod. Before they put a peg in the ground, Kyle tweets out, "I like Bryson." I went with the obvious choice, which was Scotty.
Yep.
Which was dumb. Actually, if his putter worked, I may have made a good choice. But because even though he did get in trouble, everybody talks about, well, he went in fairways. But he still was hitting greens. He still was getting out of that stuff and hitting greens.
See, before we even dive into the tournament, this was my thought on Pinehurst. The more I really thought about it, I watched all these YouTubers, okay? I watched all these YouTubers play the course. And obviously it was not 100% at the U.S. Open conditions, but it's still tough. And it was only like a couple of weeks prior to the actual Open. And they're scoring really good because I just didn't think the native area was penal enough. I didn't think it hurt them as much to hit out of that stuff and still be able to get it up close to the green. So with Bryson knowing that, he was just going to step up on every tee box and do exactly what he did. Hit it as hard as he freaking could. Just absolutely pound it. And if it goes a little bit off the fairway, he's only going to have a pitching wedge or a 9-iron in.
Yep.
He'll hit it to the middle of the green, which he did over and over again. Hit it to the middle of the green and two-putt, maybe make some, which he did, and then watch everybody else sort of falter.
I said this. I thought Brandel, who has blocked both of us on Twitter, by the way, made way too much of a big deal out of the native area.
Yeah.
And now, around the green, it is tough because you know what? It's hard pan, so they can't get a club under it. So basically, they got to go low. And if you mishit it in the least, you saw Rory went off the green one time. So did a couple other guys went off the green a couple of times. But I've told Kyle I played there 4 years ago in 2020, and we got in 2 rounds, the first day and the last day. We were never where we could not advance a ball out of the native area. And
that's the thing.
And I'm a little over an 8, possibly 9. So these guys are plus 9s.
Yeah.
So when
they don't miss hit balls.
Yeah. So when everybody kept on going, it's just going to be penalized. I'm like, it's not, because even when you got behind, you saw Rory. Rory on the last hole of the tournament was clearly behind one of those and underneath it, and he still advanced the ball. It wasn't great, but he still advanced it.
That's the difference.
And got it up near the green.
Yes.
Like, so you can advance.
The
in
balls
the Masters, you got to go backwards. In the PGA, they had to go backwards a couple of times. In the British, when they get in some of the bunkers, they're going to have to go backwards. At Pinehurst, you can always go forward.
Yeah. And you don't have to muscle it
No.
out of that stuff. Like, there's some courses you'll see them when they play like Torrey, or they play, some of the other U.S. Open
Yes.
courses, Wingfoot. You're trying to just advance at 50, 60 yards out of the rough. That's not the case here. Like, they're taking dead aim at the green most of the time, and unless you just get super unlucky and it gets like right in the middle or up against one of those, or on the backside where you got to hit, it's on the backside of one of those wiregrass things. Like,
Yes.
it's playable. The lies are typically pretty good.
But that's what I'm saying. Even Rory was on the backside at 18. He still got it up by the green.
Yeah.
Like, you can always advance the ball through that stuff.
So I thought it honestly, the only difference is I thought the scores would be higher. Like, I thought I thought it would be a double-digit winner. And it was sort of tracking that way after the first 2 rounds. And then they made it, I assume they just dried it out and made it that much harder. They said I think it was either Saturday or Sunday, the effective green size, like, in other words, the portion of the green where the ball won't roll off.
The playable portion of the green.
The playable portion of the green had shrunk like 25% over the weekend, so it did get squirrely. Like, you saw Rory on 5 really try to get after it and on one of the only par 5s, and it looked like an incredible shot. Hits, bounces up onto the green, but it doesn't quite get onto the ledge, and then it rolls all the way back and way down the hill and then down into a waste area and then like sits down in a depression and he can't make birdie. It's there was tons of that.
I wonder, because this is going to be one of the standards that they play from here on out. It's going to be one of the, I think it's 2027 or 29 they're coming back. Like, this will be one of the
Anchor site.
This will be one of the anchor sites that moving forward. I wonder if they dry it out more to begin the round, because they even said that there were rumors that people went lower on day 1 than they would have liked. They wanted to keep it around par.
Yeah.
So the 6 and the 7 unders on day 1.
Day 2 there was a lot of low scores on day 2.
Yeah, and then Saturday, I think that's when Rory shot 72.
Oh, there's no doubt they
Saturday,
did that. There's no doubt they were going to make sure that they maintained the scores around basically what they were. Like,
and even the players said they thought, well, Bryson did. He thought 4 under would win it. There were a couple other guys that thought 3 or 4 would win it. And so I don't know if they were I did notice some water in the greens on Thursday and Friday. They were not doing that on Saturday and Sunday. So I wonder if they softened it a little bit for them, and just to keep from penalizing them too much. But be curious, now that it's an anchor site, guys will get used to playing it more. Because like Scotty Scheffler had never set foot on the grounds here.
Yeah.
So now that he has, he knows what to do.
So when does it come back?
29, I think. It's either 27 or 29. Yeah, it's before 2030. Yeah,
Wow, so we're talking 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's like
possibly.
every 5 years now.
I love it. I think that's an awesome U.S. Open venue. There's some really good dramatic holes. You got 17, which is that long par 3 that's really tough. 18 super cool because you're coming up to the clubhouse. Both of the par 5s, I would like to see 10 be shorter.
I would like to see not just 10 be shorter. Even though Oberg got there with a 7 wood, I would like to see 4, which is a par 4, be shorter, because it used to play as a par 5, and they've left the length there, and so coming in at 230, 240 on a par 4 on hard greens, either make it a par 5 because it's par 7 anyway, so make it a par 71. Like, take it back to the original par 5. Because it played as a par 4 when I played it 2020. Like, that's it now.
Yeah.
And I think I told you I hit driver 3-wood in there. And that's not fun.
See, I don't care so much about length for them. I like par 5s reachable. A true 3-shot par 5 in a professional event's not very fun to watch.
No, when we played it, the first day we played it, we tried to play where the pros play from. I think I hit like driver 3-wood hybrid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so long.
It's like it was playing like 620, 615.
Yeah, it's so long. And same thing with, you mentioned 17. I think I texted you that first day that they play, or first couple of days they played it, and it was playing at like 190 to 200. That's where it played with us. They had it at 190. And for an amateur that can't hit it high, it just was like hitting it into the street and trying to stop it. And so,
I would be okay if they just did You're talking about being host sites. I wish, honestly, for the U.S. Open, they would do like 5 host sites. Just give me like Pebble, Oakmont, Bethpage, but see, Bethpage could be a PGA. Like I don't mind.
It could be. Yeah.
I don't mind if the PGA rotates, but like obviously Pinehurst, Pebble Beach,
Muirfield. I think that's one of them.
No, I don't want Muirfield.
But I think that's what they're making one of. I think it's one of the anchor sites.
Oh, I don't like that. That's going to be boring. That's going to be one of those where it's long, and it's going to be super high rough, so they're going to be like punching out.
Yeah.
But no, Pebble Beach. Let me finish. Pebble Beach, Pinehurst, Oakmont, Shinnecock.
Oh yeah.
And then maybe Torrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are great.
And Pinehurst, like you just said.
Yeah, and Pinehurst. That's 5.
Yeah. So, I'm totally good with it. I don't think they're completely done with that, but it is really cool that they're going to be doing that because it's courses people recognize.
Yeah.
It's resort courses that people go play. Like Kyle and I have talked about, like going up there. Like I had a blast, and it's cool to be able to walk through those holes or see those holes online. And I was texting Kyle. I was like, "You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to do that." Like you can. I mean, these random courses that are in Middle America that they play, that you and I are probably never going to.
Yeah.
I can never relate to those.
Yeah.
Whereas we can relate to Torrey because we can go play Torrey. We can relate to Pebble.
Well,
I mean, we can relate.
You got to pony up.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah. Same thing with Pinehurst. Well, Pinehurst too. I think they've kind of gone up on their rates a little bit too, but it's still fun time. I was so happy to see Bryson win.
Let's just talk about Bryson for.
I told
for
Kyle
a while.
I owe him an apology.
Yeah.
And both Kyle and Bryson. I was one that was very critical of Bryson, and I think 4 years ago I had every reason in the world to be critical of Bryson.
Yeah. But the things you're critical about him then, you love about him now.
No, I was critical about the rope incident where he acted like the world was coming to an end.
That was rough. That was tough.
The bug incident that.
But you didn't like the science part of it.
No,
like, you didn't like all that.
I didn't like him being hoity-toity, like towards the cameraman and towards the officials and being a jerk. And he's completely backed off all that.
He has.
Like he's just happy to be a part of it now. And if there is no bigger example in sport, in my opinion, where a guy goes from being the villain to hero as quickly and as graciously as he has. And good for him, man. He was fun to watch all weekend. I wish the camera, the whole.
It's impossible not to. I mean, it's really hard not to pull for
it. It really is. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, the science stuff is still there. So if that bugs you, you're just gonna have to get over it. To me, it's just incredibly entertaining. Everything from the 3D printed irons and how they work at his speed to the soaking the balls in Epsom salt, the salty balls, soaking his balls in Epsom salt. Which honestly made a ton of sense. I don't know. I mean, he basically, what is it? You take it and you soak it, and they float obviously because it's salt water. And then if the heavy side goes down,
and then you basically put a dot on the top,
and you always try to tee it up where the heavy side's down, so it'll spin like this or spin up and down instead of left and right. I mean, I think that's only he would think of that.
No, he's. Keep in mind, Nate was the one who had a problem with science. I didn't. I've told you, I've threatened to get the 1-length irons. Because I've told you my irons are, like, some of mine I just feel like are too long for me. Yeah. So even though I like a long, like he hits his, I like a long wedge. I like long 9-iron, long 8-iron. But then when you get down to when you get up to like the 4 or the 5, I'd wish mine were shorter.
Like
hit like a 7-iron.
Yeah.
And just to see what. Now, I haven't pulled the trigger and done that. I keep saying I'm going to saw them off, and then I know when I do, I'm going to be like, this sucks.
This is stupid.
This was so dumb. There's a reason he's a pro and I'm not. I should not have done this.
We need to try it though. I'm curious about it too. The only thing I could not do the wedges that way.
I couldn't do them as long as he has them because every one of his clubs are the size of an 8-iron or 7-iron.
I think it's a 7-iron.
And so even his wedges. Now, I could do wedges like the length of a 9-iron. As I'm saying, I think I could do everything in my bag. I think I could wedges through 9, 8, 7, and then make my 6, 5, and 4 the size of my 7-iron.
Yeah, exactly. Really, you just want your long iron shorter.
Shorter, yeah.
Give that a try.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it. I think you could. It might make a difference, but no, I agree with you, Ben. The turnaround is unbelievable. It's whoever he. The thing is, like, I'm wondering if he's coached or if there was something that happened that made him realize, like, what was that event that made him realize, okay, if I just really lean into the crowd and I really enjoy, being with the crowd instead of being so uptight, they're gonna love me, I guess. And is it? I wonder. I know you. I heard you this morning. Or I heard you the other day talking with Doug, and you said that you didn't think it was YouTube, but I do. I think it has a lot to do with it because.
Oh, did I say that? I thought I said I do think it's YouTube and the people.
I think you were saying it was more. It's more than just YouTube, and.
Oh yeah, I think it's the team around him too.
I think a big part of it is YouTube because it's helped him blossom as a personality and get to. He's getting to know these other.
That's the thing.
Amateur golf.
That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if it came across that way. I was trying to say I think it's the people involved with him in YouTube. I think, listen, we've bashed some of them, but like Pages of the world that have played rounds with him. I think she's told him, look, this is what sells. I mean, I'm just telling you, this is what I do for a living. I'm an influencer. This is what sells. Bobby Fairways, same thing. Bob does sports. He's played with him a few times. Grant Horvat has played with him a few times.
It's okay, and I think he learned from doing all that stuff. It's okay to not just have to be so like I'm just grinding.
Yeah, it's okay to
so
fail.
Hard. The audience, you're trying to appeal to the audience,
yes.
Not the audience isn't an adversary.
Yes.
And he's learned that and he's mastered it. I mean, what a power move! Go sign a dude's hat, like when you're leading the U.S. Open. There's a handicapped gentleman. He just walks up without even saying anything, pulls a Sharpie.
The story behind that?
No, I don't.
I think it was awesome that he did it. That guy.
You're going to be cynical, aren't you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. No, I think that it probably royally pissed Rory off. That guy and Rory have a special relationship. They've done like features before tournaments on it.
Okay.
Rory has like kind of befriended him and taken him under, and like Rory gave him the ball after he birdied. And
so it was a power move.
That was the thing, is they made a big deal. They were like, can you believe Rory gave him his birdie ball? And I was like, well, he knows him. Like, that would be like me coming off the course and giving you my birdie ball. Like,
yeah.
He knew him. He knows his family. But then when Bryson signed his hat.
In the middle of the round.
In the middle of the round and gave him the ball, I was like,
yeah.
Well, why aren't y'all making a big deal out of that?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that was cooler.
It was cool.
And that kid loved it.
Oh, he was fired up.
His dad loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, Father's Day, your son gets the eventual winner
to sign
of
his
the
hat.
U.S. Open to sign his hat mid-round.
And it's captured on film, and it'll live forever.
Let me tell you something. 99.9% of golfers, that's never happening.
Yeah.
Because you see them, they don't like touching anybody. They don't like playing to the crowd. The fact that he stopped and did that, I just was like, that was one of the turning points where I was, so no, it's not cynical. I thought it was awesome. I just wonder what Rory was thinking when he saw it.
Exactly.
That's my friend. That's my friend. He just took my friend. He took my championship and he took my friend.
We'll talk about Rory in just a second, but I want to ask you, what was your favorite Bryson moment? What was your favorite Bryson moment? It could be a shot, it could be the post after the round type stuff, whatever. What was your favorite Bryson moment? And if you're on the spot, I can tell you mine first.
Okay, tell me yours first.
All right, so I want to see if you caught this. He's on the set with like Brandel and all the other folks talking, they're interviewing him.
Is this post-round?
Post-round, yeah. Round? And they're talking about the shot out of the bunker. And he goes, Bryson said, because I have these longer wedges, it allowed me to get a little bit of extra distance on him. And he goes, I guess them being long isn't so bad, is it? And he said it to Brandel, who's always said that he's never going to be able to hit wedges because they're too long and things like that. But him digging, and I think that gained him some fans because I'd say Brandel
Brandel shouldn't be invited back to do
There's so
commentary.
many people that just don't like him.
No.
If you just search his name on Twitter, it's just Brandel sucks, Brandel sucks.
Did you do that after I texted you?
Oh, yeah, immediately. Scrolled for an hour and laughed.
Yes.
It was funny. But, yeah, he basically, among all the other awesome things he did giving a shot right back at Brandel on the set was pretty dope.
So I have two.
Okay.
Also post round. Did you hang around long enough to see him go in the bunker with Johnson Wagner?
Oh, yes.
So
Oh, yes.
those of you who haven't paid attention, it's been the ongoing joke that Johnson Wagner cannot hit a wedge. He's got the yips. He's doing nothing but sculling them, duffing them. They always cut to him on like Wednesday live from wherever they are, and he goes out and throws a few balls down, and he always screws the shot up.
Yeah.
So apparently, before Bryson got out there, he did.
Oh, he did. I saw it.
Send it into the.
He's trying to attempt the shot that Bryson hit. And the first one he hit, Bryson's not there. The first one he hit it basically into the clubhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that clubhouse, that's like, for those of you that have been there, you literally can sit there, eat lunch, and watch people come up 18. That is one of the most spectacular views/venues in golf to be able to go to. Because when you get done, you sit up there and you watch these. I could sit there literally and drink beer and watch people hit into 18 all day.
All day.
And had the best time. Because we did. We stayed there for like 2 hours after one of our rounds and just watched.
So the first one he hits it in the thing.
So when Bryson comes up to him and says, well, let's do it again. And, Johnson says, well, what are you trying to do? And he said, because he asked him, and he goes, no, I never thought about going long. He said, if anything, it was going to be short because I was trying to chunk and run it.
Yeah.
And so he kind of coached him a little bit. And then when he got done, like he was his biggest cheerleader. And I'm sitting there going, he just fixed Johnson Wagner on live television.
And then Johnson hits it to 2 feet.
Yes, and hits it to, like he fixed him on live television.
And then he gave him the trophy. He's like, you just won the U.S. Open.
Yes.
Which that's so cool. Johnson Wagner's older than him, and he looked at him like he was a little kid. Like Johnson was acting like a little kid.
And then Johnson even said, I'm never going to win it now because I touched the trophy.
Yeah.
And I really wish Bryson would have been like, I don't think that was a big issue.
Yeah, that was not. It was not a threat. It was not a threat.
But
that was a good one.
My second one, because I said there's no chance he should not have done that. He, during his acceptance speech, says, I'm going to hang around and let every one of you touch this trophy because you were a part of this. And damn it, he did it.
He did it. He ran through the crowd, let everybody touch the trophy.
Everybody that stayed.
That could have been a disaster. But
when he said it, I was like, his team is sitting there going, no, we're not. No, we're not doing that. But he did it anyway.
Another cool one was whenever he was on, it was either 12 or 13. I think it was 12, which is 12 is one where he could hit it. He could hit it way up there close to the green, but the pin was in a really weird spot. So they're talking about it, and he had the driver in his hand, and then he goes, he knows he's going to lay up, and he looks at the fans and he goes, don't boo me, guys. I'm sorry, I got to do it. And he puts the driver back in, and I just think the wherewithal or to be engaged with the crowd like that. Don't boo me, I had to do it.
In the final round
of the U.S. Open. And then he obviously hits a terrible layup, and then he sticks it close. He did that 12. Is it 12 and 13 or 13? I think it's 12 and 13. Are very
13
similar.
is the 3-wood that he took, that he landed on the green and almost made the eagle. Came up about 2 rolls short. Now, that's another reason that I think this is awesome. Everybody kept talking about he's not drawing it like he did the previous days. Guys, he busted his driver head on the range. He had to switch driver heads.
I did not know
on
that.
The final day of the U.S. Open. Thank goodness he had 2 with him, and because he hits a crank driver. I don't know if you guys know what that is. You basically got to Google it because you got to buy them online. You're not going to see those in these stores or anything. And he hits a crank driver in a crank 3-wood, and the guy that was basically watching his flight scope and giving him numbers, that is the crank guy that comes with him. And he, on the range, busted his driver head, had to switch out driver heads the final day of the U.S. Open, and he was hitting cuts and hitting it straight. His draw left him. Even though he had it on the same setting, I don't know if that was mental, that it messed with him, or he just there were a couple he did overcook, so he ended up hooking, including 18. He did that.
Yeah, that was a big one.
But I think it was because he was having to force it because every other drive that he hit, he was leaving out right, and it just would not draw for him. And I think the fact that he played
I did not know he busted a head.
Yeah, he busted on the driving range warming up. And when they said that, I was like, he's fixing to lose the Open because he just busted his driver head.
And it'll be in his head.
Yes,
but
it didn't.
It did.
He never got frustrated leaving it out right. He just went up there and played his next shot, kept the great attitude, like Kyle's saying, even all the way through 12 and 13, where he's still flirting with the crowd, and he said, "Don't boo me, but I've got to lay up."
Yeah.
He is just. I think he won a ton of people over this weekend, and he was so fun to watch. And he is the reason. He will be one of the main reasons. And I said this on the pod with Doug. He will be one of the main reasons that they work out this deal with the PGA Tour and Live, because
he's got to get back.
The PGA Tour's got to have him.
They got to have him
because after Rory's stunt
he
afterwards,
gets eyeballs.
Yes,
he sells sponsorships
because Speed's not playing well, JT's not playing well. The face of the PGA, Rory, is pitching fits. Tiger's done. You
got Scotty, who's great, but Scotty's not entertaining. Let's just be honest.
No,
he's
Scotty's
not
boring
super
golf,
entertaining.
which you and I like, but
which I love,
it's
but
not going to win America over.
Bryson is fun. They got to figure that out because he's obviously he's the needle right now in golf. He's the only golfer. Doug said this too on the show the other day. He said that Bryson's the only golfer that got more popular by going to Live.
Yes.
So he's the only one that his celebrity has increased by going to Live. So they got to get him back. Biggest loser of the weekend, I'm not going to say Rory. I'm going to give you another one. I think the biggest loser of the weekend was Zach Johnson. Can you imagine being a Ryder Cup captain and being so petty that you did not take – you took JT.
Look, and
I love JT.
Now, I
you
love
took
JT, and I didn't have a problem
and
with
you took Spieth.
JT. Yeah.
Spieth may have auto-qualified, but still, you took JT. You could have taken Bryson. You didn't even watch anything Bryson did.
No.
And you got dominated. And I'm not saying Bryson would have changed anything, but –
you saw what the crowd did. Do you realize he could have turned the crowd overseas?
He probably could have.
I mean, he could have turned the crowd overseas to not necessarily pull for him, but they wouldn't have been pulling against him as much as they did the rest of the Americans.
You're probably right on that. Like I'll give you that. But no, congratulations to Bryson. That was so much fun to watch, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. I enjoyed the absolute.
I love that he wore his Live stuff the whole time.
Yeah. I want him to bring back the driver cap. He's not bringing it back, but I want him to bring it back.
He's got it on his bag as an homage to Payne. He had it on his bag the whole time.
That was his logo for a while, I think.
It was. And that's the whole reason. I had no idea that that's what sold him on SMU until they did that story on Live From, where he walked into SMU on a recruiting trip, and they had a big mural of Payne Stewart, which was his favorite golfer, and he said his dad's favorite golfer. And as soon as he walked in and saw that mural, he was like, "Yep, come in here."
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Of course, I don't know how you don't know he went to SMU, but still.
He did know he went. He just didn't realize that he was as celebrated. Because I did like the line that I think Johnson Wagner said. It was like, everybody at SMU knows Payne Stewart's name. And Johnson Wagner said, everybody at SMU knows Bryson DeChambeau's name now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, he's in good company.
We're going to talk about Rory in just a minute, but before we do that, we got to talk a little bit about this upcoming event, and you're going to hear Mo and Hailey. You met Mo last week, and Hailey, you've met her before. They're going to talk about this June 30th LUAU that's going to be here at Bunkers. It's going to be outrageous. It's $50 a ticket per adult. Kids get in free. Kids play free. Mm-hmm. You can buy the tickets online. What you get free food. I'm going to say free food. You get food included in the cost of your ticket. You get 3 drinks in the cost of your ticket, and you get unlimited gameplay. It's going to be absolutely incredible. June 30th, there's going to be more and more details as it gets closer. A lot of games, a lot of activities. So that'll be something that they're going to tell you about, and they both look a whole lot better than we do. So
yeah,
we're going to throw it to them, and we'll be back in just a moment.
What did they do letting us have the mics?
I have no idea, but I really like this idea.
Me too, and I'm really excited.
Me too.
I think we're just going to chat a little bit about Kona and this super exciting event that we have going on June 30th. It's a Sunday, and it's going to go from 12 to 8 p.m.
Sunday fun day.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, so we kind of came up with this concept to do Liquid Aloha luau's, featuring one of our brands that we love, Kona Big Wave. It is a golden ale from Hawaii. It's delicious. If you haven't had it, you can find it at all the stores in Auburn. but we kind of came up with this concept to basically turn bars in Auburn and Opelika into
Hawaii.
mini pop-up tiki bars. And
I love it. It's going to be so fun.
yeah.
We're going to turn bunkers into Hawaii. It's going to
Yes.
be super exciting. We have contests all day. There's going to be a whole new menu just specifically for this event. Same as drinks. And the best part is kids under 10 eat and play free all day, which is so exciting.
See, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
Right. And so I'm like, you can bring your whole family. It's perfect on a, like you said, Sunday fun day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be really exciting. Plus, like, that's such great products, you know, and beer. We have specialty cocktails. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to turn bunkers into a luau.
I know. And speaking of some of the games, we do have games for the kids, but we also have games for the adults. So we are going to be bringing a hula hoop competition. So for some of you older folks out there, like loosen the hips, the beer helps. We recommend having 1 or 2 before you participate in the hula hoop competition.
Yeah. It helps the success rate.
It
We've
does.
Heard.
It does.
We tried it out.
There's
we won't show that.
We won't show that on
But,
here.
right, but if you come on Sunday, you might be able to
Yes.
find out.
Get the visual right.
Yeah.
We do have a flamingo ring toss, which is extremely funny if you haven't played before. You wear a flamingo on your head, toss rings.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
We gotta try it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think
Yeah.
we'd win.
Okay, I do too.
I have really good
after
aim.
seeing us do the hula hoops,
Well, who would throw and then who would
Right.
catch? We'd have to figure it out.
we can do it after 2 beers.
We can practice.
Yeah, that's
we can
fine.
practice.
Either
And then we
one.
also do a fun game. It's called a coconut kissy game.
Okay.
Which the object of the game, if you haven't seen the movie, Just Go With It, I got the inspiration from
That
that.
sounds fun.
They
I'm
went on a
already
trip
in.
to Hawaii. The object is to start with a coconut back to back and then get it face to face.
This
the
is a lot of
fastest.
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
A lot of fun.
This one's exciting.
It's gonna be exciting. And It's gonna
Yeah.
be all day.
Oh, and we are here for all the games.
Yeah.
All the contests, all the games. Bring your kiddos. It's gonna be so much fun, and the food's gonna be great. The drinks are obviously gonna be fantastic.
Fantastic.
So we're excited.
Cold beer all day long.
Well, thank you, and this is gonna be so exciting. We'll see you guys on June 30th. Back to the boys.
All right, we're back again. That was Mo and Hailey talking about the luau in the near future.
By the way, Hailey, thanks for the beers.
Yeah, Mick Ultras for the boys. Really appreciate that. I talked about Zach Johnson being a big loser, but obviously Rory
Super
pretty
loser.
much blew it 100% blew it. He missed two putts that if you added them together would not equal 10 feet to lose the U.S. Open by 1 shot. Wanted it so bad, played really well, and he kind of, he was so upset that once he saw the putt go in, he didn't hang around and congratulate Bryson like Bryson did for Xander. There's film of him pretty much storming out and then skirting tires to get out of the parking lot. And Officer Gillis was just had to be in a complete panic when he saw those tires skirt. I mean, he could have killed somebody. Like he probably had flashbacks. That's Officer Gillis from the Louisville Police Department.
That's good.
Who was ruined.
You caught me off guard there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going that direction.
No, but here's my thing, okay? I know there's going to be so many people that bash Rory on this. And
Hey,
and you know what? Some of it is deserved, okay? Some of it's deserved. But you got to think about everything he's gone through over the last, couple of months, and then the whole situation where the PGA Tour essentially left him out to dry.
No, I will side,
They
I will
screwed
side with
him.
you on that. Yes.
They screwed him so hard.
They put him in a bad spot.
Yeah, making him, you're the poster child, you're this, you're that, we're anti-this, we're anti-that, so he's going to be super anti. He towed the company line, he toted the company for them, and then they go and they merge, which is, he's like, well, I gave up probably $1 billion to go play there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And I'm doing this, and y'all are talking about legacy, and so he's got all that. He's got this long drought of trying to win a major that he misses out on. He's got the whole marriage thing going on where he goes through the divorce. Even if he may have contributed, they're getting back together. It's just
The timing on that is phenomenal to me.
the timing. Yeah, it's just so much going on. I wish he would have hung around, but I get, like, there's only so much you can take, and that was a big crescendo of events, and he blew it. I mean, he did. Bryson won, but Rory blew that. He putted phenomenally, but Rory 100% blew that. And so again, I don't totally fault him. I can see how emotion could overtake you there.
I totally get that part. And as I said earlier in the week with Doug, he had 2.3 million reasons to hang his ass around.
Yeah, it's hard to.
And face the music and at least give a statement. He didn't have to take questions. He could have given a statement.
He didn't even there was no press conference.
No, he could have at least given a statement, not taking questions. Say, guys, I'm just not going to take questions. Here's my take on today. And kind of owned it and said, I blew it. You know, the putt on 16 was bad. I said it earlier this week. I talked to even the national champion Auburn head coach some this week, and I talked to him and said, we talked about that putt a little bit on 18. He said that you can't put yourself in that position. Like, that is tough to make coming downhill, not knowing how to judge the break, especially with the game on the line, because if you firm it and you miss,
you could have
you
could
could
go
have
off.
You could have 8, 9, 10 feet or off the green coming back. And so I firmly believe the big miss was on 16, and I said that. Now, the afterwards and the sulking and him leaving and
some of the memes
have been great
were
thus far.
incredible. The best one was, so he's basically disheveled, so like half his shirt untucked, his hat's to the side. He's watching. He's got his hands on his hips. He's like watching it, and you can tell he's like not happy.
Yeah.
And the best one was last hand of the night, and dealers goes 5-6-10, or no, 5-6 king.
5-6 king, yes.
You're sitting there, you're like, I'm tapped out, and you're watching the last hand of blackjack go, and you lose. That was so good. I laughed.
I remember betonline.ag. Please be sure to go there.
Yeah,
promo code BELIEVE. But you know, how about the memes that have come out from Rory? Remember when he ripped his shirt?
Yeah.
And he was standing in the clubhouse with his holes all in the shirt.
Yep.
And now he's done this where he looks to show. I'm not as. You know, I quote tweeted Paige Sporanic because she had said she didn't have a problem with the interview. In my real day job, I mean, I'm semi-part of the media. We kind of expect win, lose, or draw to get a quote from the coach and the pillars of the team, whether it be the quarterback, whether it be the point guard, whether it be the starting pitcher that, you know, or the closer that blew it in baseball or whatever. And so for him to do that, and as I said with Doug earlier, with the silver medal being a part of the presentation where he skipped the presentation because second place gets one of those medals too. It's just not the gold that Tiger made fun of Phil in the match about. Say, can you mark that with your first place medal? Oh, you don't have one. You've got a second place, but you don't have a. So he didn't receive his second place medal. He didn't go out there and accept that. I think he just kind of turned his back on the PGA Tour. And maybe, you know what, Kyle, maybe that was planned. Maybe that was something that he's like, you know what, you guys have not stuck by me, so I'm getting in my car and I'm leaving. I'm going
Maybe
home.
so. It's not really it's not really a PGA Tour event, so I don't really know how he could stick it to him by that. But I mean,
but you and I know that. Do the Walmart test, and everybody's going to say the PGA Tour puts that on. If you go ask 100 people at Walmart who puts on the U.S. Open, they're going to go PGA Tour.
Yeah, that's
so.
True.
I think that's his, and that's me speculating. It was not a good look for somebody that's already been kind of whiny.
It's not a good look if you don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
If you know everything, it makes sense. Like I get it. Again, I wish he would have waited. I even thought his statement he put out on Twitter on Monday was a little lame. He didn't even apologize.
No.
Or say congratulations to Bryson, I don't believe. I think it was mostly just I was sad, I left, and now I'm not coming back until the Scottish Open. So, like, he withdrew from the Travelers, and that's going to be the next tournament he plays. He's going to play the Scottish Open, then he's going to go play at the Open. He is playing good, though. He's playing really good.
No, he's playing good.
You got to close it out.
Yeah, it is a setback, and yes, you do have to close it out. But, I'm one that, I've told you before, we've had this discussion about other sports. It always looks bad when you lose it at the end. The 72 earlier in the week didn't help when he was 2 over.
No.
And so, yes, you can't win a tournament on day 1 or day 2. You can absolutely lose a tournament on day 1 or day 2.
Yeah, and he still had a chance. And
that's the thing. He kept himself in it
Well, it's funny. The putter kept him in it, and then it got him out of it. That's because he made
yes,
some bombs. Especially on that last several holes. That last 9, he made some bombs.
He made bombs all the way up to 15.
Yeah.
And then he got on 16 and
the 4-footer just whooped him.
Yeah,
Downhill slider. That's just tough.
Little slider, caught the edge, slung it past. Then he was asking for it to slow down because the green goes away.
Yeah.
So he didn't want that 6-footer coming up.
Yep.
And then, of course, we all saw what happened on 18.
Yeah.
And then we saw his reaction. So, Roars, I kind of like you, but need you to kind of man up a little bit and accept responsibility.
I'm almost expecting him to win the Open. Like, I'm really.
Oh, gosh, I don't.
I'm almost expecting
It's been 10 years.
I think
now he's.
I'm telling you.
I think he's
it may be mental, but he was so close that time. I'm almost expecting him to win it. I think he's just playing really good golf right now. I think he's got the driver working. He hit the driver great. He hit it multiple different levels. Like, he could hit the stinger, which I've never seen him do. And I don't know. I think I would almost expect him to win the Open. But we'll talk about that as it gets closer. Great U.S. Open, great finish, great tournament.
Yep.
A lot of fun. Great Father's Day to be able to love that being Father's Day because you get the pass to watch it.
Yep.
And it was fantastic. So really, really enjoyed talking about it. Really enjoy you guys tuning in and checking it out. Make sure you come check out Bunkers. Be on the lookout for the social media stuff on that LUAU. And we'll be back again next week.
We got a couple of things coming up.
Yeah.
With get a chance to talk to.
Oh yeah,
it's no secret that we record Bunkers in Auburn, and Auburn, home of Auburn University. Those of you that watch from outside of the market, got the opportunity to sit down with Auburn women's head coach, as well as the national champion and national coach of the year, and the men's head coach. And so we'll have those up for you a little bit later on, and hear what they had to say about their season. There's some stuff I'm going to talk to Kyle about that I can't divulge that we talked about off the air. Maybe someday that stuff will come out, but it is fantastic. Both of those guys are awesome, and women had a chance. They're going to have even a better chance with all that they've got coming back, and the men return 6 of their players, and they had the National Player of the Year and the #1 high school player of the year coming in to play next year. And one of the women's twin brother, Anna Davis's brother, is that guy.
Billy.
Yeah, so
Billy Davis.
He'll be on the men's team. She enrolled early. He's going to be coming in the fall, so we'll talk a little bit about that with Coach Kleinert, who won the national championship and national coach of the year.
Awesome. So y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you next week. This is Dad by Golf Pod. We're always stroking.